I'm outdoors. You can tell with this lighting. This lighting is wicked, man. Like, especially when you're used to just this light. And obviously, my walls are really warm with the wood, and better for skin tones and stuff. Like this stuff really is woo. And I have my tapestry up to dry from yesterday from the lake. I was like, I'll just leave that up. It's a little less harsh than just the white stark walls behind you. So, anyways, but there was, I had a brief little moment where everybody's still kind of sleeping. Well, the baby's taking the morning nap, and so dad is catching up too. And then the teenagers, of course, aren't even up yet. So I was like, well, it's perfect time because today I'm supposed to go shopping and go to lunch. My daughter wanted to take me to lunch for my birthday. And I keep telling people, I don't care about them. I'm telling you, I started this release 3 years ago on my 60th. Yeah, because it was the whole time leading up to my 60th. I was like, I had made the plan. I was going to do it by myself. I didn't want I didn't want to put a bunch of hype into it. I didn't want to put a bunch of emotional, like I had done that before for other birthdays. You know, I've seen that so many New Year's Eves. Like, you go out with a whole group of people, everybody's all pumped up, and then something goes wrong for somebody, and it's like the whole night is ruined. And it's like, what did you want from the night? Why did it get ruined? And it is like an expectation. Like, people just have, and I don't want to put that energy out, especially for, you know, and I don't like the whole concept. Really, I think we don't need to be measuring time like that. I think we need to let go of these measurements of time. It's not how we need to exist by these increments. It's how they reduce us to space. You know, like we are allowed this much space. Well, we're big motherfucking beings. We want as much space as we want. This son-in-law, he's into you know, like video games and superhero stuff and comic book stuff and stuff like that, you know, like a lot of guys that age, like most of them. And anyways, I was saying, like, you know, I think that it's inside of us all. Like, we all know we're really superheroes, so we really know our own powers and our own uniqueness, and that, I think, is why people get drawn to it, you know. But it keeps it like unreachable. Like, you got to have that spiritual side of yourself that connects with, like, that is me. I just got to remember I have all these abilities. I am this powerful. The anchor is this 3D conceptualized idea of what I am, and getting myself into this idea that I'm reduced down to flesh and blood and time and space. So you're so far beyond any of that stuff, which, by the way, let's pull a sidebar in here. This is only to a certain person. Like, you're gonna keep on coming into my dreams and taking a visit, just fucking talk to me. Like, seriously. It's so, like, I don't know, it's time to talk. But anyways, so this trippy house, like, moving, woo, like everything seems like that lately. Like, I am not even kidding you, the weird shit that I keep having happen. Like that other day when I was sitting on the patio and, like, I'm doing like my little grooming out in the good sunlight, and I have my little stuff sitting there, you know, on me, and then I start to gather it up and it's like fucking gone. I was like, what in the hell happened? And it's like, this portal isn't always a good thing. Like, it sucks things in. And like my remote, I can't even use the remote of that weirdo air conditioner thing that they put in all the new buildings, and they wire them to fucking melt our brains. And, you know, that's the whole thing with the AirPods too. Oh yeah, and I want to say too is, okay, so, you know, I went to the lake and everything yesterday, which my God, I left it in there too long. Man, and it opened back up on a part. I mean, anybody who thinks it wasn't deep, I should take a picture of this. Like, it's disgusting. It's opened up like a bunch of layers is still open now. And I just got to put some peroxide and shit and just to keep baby in it. It's not like it's getting infected. I think when you get an injury or something, it's just give it your attention. And oh, what was that other one I had? this thing, okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but a lot of times, like, I'll look and I'll see, like, there's a black mark right here or something. Like I wonder, like, is it this sunk in or something? And then right here in between is this spot that keeps getting this growth. And I had gone to the doctor before, when I was still trusting those motherfuckers, when I still gave them, when I still thought a piece of paper mattered. Then so I went into the doctor, and she's like, oh, that, you know, because I was getting like little, they call them pre-cancer things, you know, oh, as you get older, you get these pre-cancer things, we got to burn them off or you're going to get face cancer. So, and then you'll hear about people who get face cancer. I was like, fuck, I don't want the face cancer. Plus I was a nurse, and I saw that one person with the nose completely gone, and I had no nose. And it's like looking into a skull. It's freaky as fuck. And so, and now they can just, you know, go kill somebody, take their nose, put it on your nose, but you gotta pay them a lot of money for that. But anyways, so this this growth thing, I'm not sure, you know, what it is, but it she burned it. So she sent me to a dermatologist. The dermatologist then burnt it off. And I don't remember what she said. Probably, well, if it comes back, come back and we'll do it again. Or maybe we'll have to biopsy it or something. Who knows? And so it went off for a while, but it's come back constantly. It constantly comes back. And I'll put aloe vera on it or castor oil. I'm just going to get a stronger castor oil, I think, too. But I'll just keep putting castor oil on it, because castor oil heals so many things in your skin. It like permeates through. Like, you can put castor oil in your belly button when you go to sleep at night, and it will enter into you and heal things. Like, it's magic oil. So, you know, I keep using that, and the thing goes away or falls off or whatever it does it over and over. But I keep thinking, is something going on here? And so for me, I, you know, put the oil on it this morning, and then I told myself, in communication with myself, to show me what it is, what injury, what wound do I carry, what is it that happened or something, so I can heal this. Because this is what I'm talking about when I talk about your physical represents. It's opportunities for you to release something, just like triggers. Our physicality is also representative of things that we need to release, and we need to be aware of. Like, I'm still constantly working on keeping myself centered and in balance, and, you know, with the scoliosis and stuff, and constantly working on straightening my spine, and looking inward, and constantly telling myself, release what is holding me. And things, when they get released, they aren't just released, you know, because, oh, I just release. No, when it's released, it is, you acknowledge you're ready to process it. You're ready to look at it. You're ready to see what you haven't seen. And it may take, you know, may not come to you instantaneously. It may play out. You know, I may be watching a movie 2 weeks from now, and something happens, and a girl gets injured, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, now I see. And then, you know, it'll be a song, and then they'll show me that picture, and this song will tell me something. It's like they're constantly telling you a story, but you have to be a participant in the communication. It's acknowledging this other side of yourself. You can be trapped in the 3D, just trying to exist, participate, and live, or you can acknowledge the spiritual and focus on that, and understand life in another, you know, another realm, another state of being. To me, the 3D is so limiting. It's such a trap. And besides the fact that it's been a fucking trap this whole goddamn time. But, you know, when you can go into the spiritual, it just opens you up to, you know, everything. Like, everything is out there. Everything that you can acknowledge is out there. Like, I can talk to plants, I can listen to the wind, I can listen to my body, I can heal, I can look at past lives, and I can heal things in my body. And so anyways, that was one of the things that I wanted to say about that. But so when I went into because I was gonna do some kind of wash on my hair, because everybody's like really weirded out now I don't wash my hair. And so my daughter said, well, I have stuff that's not like, regular shampoo or whatever. And that's what I use. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll try it and see, check out your stuff. And so then, and something like, because this was just really really hurting, like a lot of pressure or something right here, like it hurts right here. And it could be even something that was, this is just an example, but in a battle, when there's been so many battles and so many wars throughout the Earth's history, and so many opportunities for a soul to go in and to experience. And you got to remember, everything is about the experience. Everything is about the learning and growing. We're not to judge the person playing the role. We're to understand that the role is being played so that we can learn from it. And so it could very well be in a battle, and somebody who I love, because the people we interact the most with who are in our orbit are our closest soulmates, our closest reverberation of self. And so then when they, when we hurt them, and it pains us. That's why, like, you have ancestors and stuff that hang on around you because of what pulls them back, what holds them and binds them. And so when you can everything is about this releasing, but so it can be something so much as like I was in a battle with in a Viking one, but I don't know if that is just because I watched the Vikings and I've got a Celtic history, and see, then that can also be a part of my DNA that is trying to be shedded, that I'm in agreement with the ancestors who are around me trying to guide me, that I am taking on these wounds because we are, as we were birthed in, and as this growth occurs, it is the radiation of the growing of the intelligence. It's like the universal intelligence. And so when you're coming in and you're the light that is coming from, that is all. And so when you are, then it is like you are taking on more of the wounds, more of the thing. And just like in that movie, I thought it was really cool how they showed that in that movie. Like when the guy would be running and he would be talking, and it was like a smoke thing behind him, and all his ancestors and shit were running with him and talking to him. It's gonna make me cry, because I know that's how it really is. But people get so lost, they get so caught up in themselves that they forget, who they are and what they're doing here. Oh, I feel so emotional about it. I just know people feel better when they're more connected, and it pains me for some reason. But anyways, so so this vision that I keep getting, I'm not sure, that's the thing, is the Akashic record and stuff. Like, don't get in the 3D idea of what incarnating is. I'm telling you, it's just the same as going into dreams and going to a library and checking out a book. It's like we're playing out the stories that make up the library, and we're all playing the different roles, putting on different clothes, different masks, and playing different roles for each other, so that we can live action, the stories, because we learn from it. But anyways, this battle of that came into my head when I felt this pain go across my nose. The flash that came in my head was a definite Viking, it was the vicious battles. And I don't know if I talked about this before, but it was very interesting about, you can look this up, about the Vikings had 2 different plant medicines that they would use. I can't remember what they are now, you'd have to look it up. And a lot of Viking history and stuff was lost because the Vikings didn't keep records, and the people who kept records on the Vikings were against the Vikings. So it's tainted information. But anyway, supposedly there was 2 different plants, and one of them would make them feel superhuman, like nothing could hurt them, like PCP or something, like they couldn't feel pain. And so they would take that before they would go into battle. And then the other one was something that would make them like go out into, you know, kind of like they're 1 foot in Valhalla and 1 foot on the battleground. Like they were going between 2 spaces, like being on acid going into a battle where you feel superior. And so that is one reason, probably, if that is all factual, that they were such master fighters, you know, like, I mean, they kicked everybody's ass. You'd think they're the ones running the world. Maybe they were the Anunnaki. Who fucking knows? I guess we'll find out more as everything plays out. Which, you know, but I finished that because I wanted to say that other thing. But yeah, like hitting up, so it can be some injury that I hurt someone else and I carry that pain, but I haven't released it. But then I nurse my wounds, you know, in this life because I'm disconnected from things that I have done, because a lot of us don't want to see ourselves as the bad guy or the wounder or the, you know, the monster. You know, but we all played the monster in all the stories, you know. All of us have played the monster. And when people get really judgmental, it's like they forget like what we're doing here. So anyways, oh yeah, so one of the things I wanted to say, because I just keep seeing this footage of Trump saying that, you know, we all need to be chipped, that that's the wave of the future. It's like, I really, when he says weird ass shit like that, and everybody jumps on, see, we told you, he's a bad one too. I always think this is part of just getting us to talk about stuff. He's the patsy. He's the catalyst. He's the one to get this conversation out there so that everybody, because he will be the one who's outrageous. He will be, you know, but that is where it puts the conversation out there, and where, you know, for the people who are understanding the game that's happening, is to not get caught up in the good guy, the bad guy, and like it's all just gonna be coming out. Like, I mean, it's crazy how you can think like this guy's got to be the bad guy, this guy's got to, and it just keeps switching around and swapping parts and stuff. Like, but I think that is happening because we need to learn to trust ourselves, to have our own discernment, to not go outside of ourselves for someone else. That, like, you go out and you can get all the information you want, you can learn from everybody, but you still got to figure out what is true for you. And another thing I think is important is for us not to shame one another. Let things unfold for them, you know. Like yesterday with the lake, you know, my daughter wanted me to put her sunblock on her. It smelled really good too. She's really into the fragrances and stuff, and it was like, because we have a whole thing about that too, because she's like, doesn't want a dog. Oh my God. But I had some good things yesterday because Stella just wanted to hang out with the little boy, and I was like, oh, dogs and boys love, because she's got this little boy, and her husband wants to get one when they get a bigger place and stuff. And she's very into everything's got to smell good, everything's got to be clean. She's kind of germphobe, but she's aware of it, you know, like, and I told her yesterday when I asked her for hand sanitizer, I said, we all need a germaphobe with us. Like, we all need one. Like, that's what we got to start recognizing in every group. Instead of shaming somebody for who they are, we need all the spokes of the wheel. We need everybody to be their own little weird selves. You know, be a germaphobe. Bring your stuff, because I won't have it, and I'm probably going to need it. So, you know, and Stella went into a pooping frenzy out there, and in every bag I would use to pick it up, there's pine needles, and it was like, oh my God, my hands feel dirty. And I'm at the lake where I'm just going to be dirty. And so, so the shampooing thing. So I'll skip over that part. So when I went up there this morning to look at her different products and stuff, she had a native brand, I think shampoo, or I'm pretty sure it was native. I know it was native brand, but I'm pretty sure it was a shampoo. But this is what I wanted to share, is because, you know, one of the people who I had seen recently, I've seen a lot of them, but this girl put it all a video with them all together of all of these different corporations, the natural, the organic, all of these ones where the people who think they're taking care of their health trust, you know, like, well, I use native and that's healthy. They don't use, those were all bought out. All of these small natural businesses got bought out by corporate entities such as Clorox, General Mills, all the places that are poisoning us. So now people are recognizing their products are changing, their ingredient list has gotten longer and stuff. So anyways, that's how this place works, is you know, get us to trust something so that they can, you know, come in the back door. So it's their whole thing with the idols and everything they do, you know, is all to just get us to not trust ourselves. That's why there's so much of this shit that is coming out, is about teaching us to trust ourselves, to go inward, to, you know, look at things deeper. But so what I did do with my hair, she had a really nice hair mask, and it was coconut oil, rosemary, lavender. It was all like that kind of stuff. So I was like, well, I'm just going to do that. So I just put some of the mask in my hair, and I put it all on my scalp, and then I rubbed my the longer part up on the hair thing to try and get it all in there. And then I let it sit for her a while, and then I went in and washed it out. It was kind of, you know, all greasy up at the scalp part, but then I just used my dry shampoo stuff and put that in there, which I might have some powder on my face. My eyes have been horrible lately, but my eyes have been so great lately. I just see better and better. No, that is true. I do see better and better all the time. But there is like the Vaseline, there's some kind of, it's probably some kind of chemical that they put, and then it's like our eyes are trying to protect themselves or something. So they put some kind of, because it's like Vaseline or something goes over your eyes. And then I know all these things they call floaters are the goddamn nanobot parasites, because I can see them in my eyes going around. And this morning, because I was in a house with other people, I felt a little more brave, but I didn't just pour the peroxide in. I just put some on my Q-tip and just put some in my ear. Oh my gosh, it was getting really freaking me out. I was like, oh my God, do I have a whole nest of earwigs in there? Oh my God, are they all gonna come running out now? Like, whoa, I don't know why I get so weirded out about like these videos of things coming out of people's ears, really, ugh. And it's so crazy because I know in my mind that stuff can't be, you know, it's, man, it's weird because they are able to do things. It's got to be something with the frequency, because they're able to make us sick without us knowing. But that is how they also, like, they program us so we know things. So they put it in like movies and stuff. Somehow they leak it out into society, and then we start seeing it. It must be kind of like right now on the news, they're like, oh, we've got a new respiratory illness. Everybody's getting this super bad respiratory. Where could it come from? Don't know. What? And it's like, oh my fucking God. I was like, I just swear to God, I can see why people who are unstable just drive down to news stations and just go in and lose their goddamn minds. It's like, shut the fuck up. And, but, you know, you bet your ass, it's the goddamn chemicals and the goddamn frequency. I mean, every time I see the stuff sprayed in the sky, it's moving in the weirdest patterns and stuff. Like, there's such a high frequency, whatever is going on in the sky. And so, in those chemicals and stuff, you know, make people get sick. And then they put it out there, all this nonstop about, you know, putting it in your head. So if you start feeling like allergies, coughing, sneezing, well, they put it in your head of what it is, instead of you going, oh, well, you know, all these chemicals I'm breathing in, I better, you know, detox, it's getting me sick. Instead, it's like, oh, now I've got the new sickness, I better run down to the hospital, down to the ER, and get the new remedy because, you know, they've got my best interest in mind. So I better hurry and scurry down there and get what I need to get. It's like, what you need to get is independence. Stop thinking, stop letting them do your thinking for you. It's like, that's what they're doing. They're doing our thinking for us. But when you wake up and you break free, that is the part where you start going, fuck off. That's like, I mean, to me, it got even down to like how often I brush my teeth, like questioning, you know, washing my hand, like everything. It's like, you really start thinking about things like washing your hair. It starts being like, you know, like, I think if we went around to tribes that were, you know, still living without control, and we start telling them, well, you need to wash your hair. Here's some products. You know, we'll strip your hair of all of its natural stuff. They probably start getting sick and stuff. Like, all of these things, like, are there to help us and protect us. I even saw a girl the other day doing a video, something I talked about a long while ago, but this is where I started seeing people starting to catch on and talk about it. But that your eyelashes, the hairs in your ears, the hairs in your nose, definitely your hair on your head, the hair even between your legs is there as it's like a protection. It is to catch things, and it's like, you know, like little fingers to make sure that everything can't get through. If there was nothing there, you just got bugs flying straight up your nose. You know, things can go straight into your eyes. So the eyelashes and all of that stuff all has a purpose. It has nothing to do with vanity, has nothing to do with looks. And the reason I think they do it is because they make money off of it. Here, if we make this concoction and tell them that they need to put it on their eyes, they'll look better, then they all run and do it. Especially if we show this pretty person who does it every day, and then we tell them, look, how you can look like this too, everybody. Just go and get this stuff, and you put this on you, and you can look. And then all the people who run out and do it, well, the people who run out and do it is because they feel insecure. They feel bad about themselves. You know, they feed off of people's insecurities. That's where they create this artificial, shallow world. It's because they're really taking people who are super insecure and giving them something to give them confidence. And it's an artificial confidence. And that is why when you start awakening, it's like, you know, a breaking down of who you were. When you come out of the whole thing, it's like you weren't even the same person. I saw a girl doing a video the other day, and she was talking about how weird it was. She said it's one thing to look at old pictures of yourself, but she said that somebody pulled out some old videos of her, like 20 years ago, ones that she didn't even know were made. It was like at a family function or something, and then they're over there, and somebody starts playing these videos, and she said, so she was seeing herself like 20, 25 years ago doing things, and she was so weirded out. It was like at a wedding shower for her or something before she got married. She said it was so weird, everything that she would do and stuff. She was just so cringy on herself, and she's like, I don't even know that person. Like, it's so weird. But that is, you know, like what kids don't understand, how much you grow through this period where they're all, you know, up their own asses and think they've done, you know, they've reached their point of judgment and everybody else is just stupid. And they don't realize how much they're going to change and grow. And when you look back on your attitude and who you were and stuff, you're just like, oh, yuck, I can't believe how I acted, you know? Oh, you know, another thing too is, okay, yeah, the sunblock. Okay, so the sunblock thing was, you know, when she wanted that on it smelled so good and stuff. And I think she's expecting me to, you know, lecture her how bad this is. And it's like, no, I'm not going to be putting that into someone's mind anyways. It is, you know, I'll say it. But when I'm putting it on somebody, I'm not going to lather them up as I'm telling them, you're getting cancer, you know, like. But I'll say, you know, if we're talking in a group and people are like, oh, did you get your sunblock? No, I don't use that. It gives you cancer. You know, I'll say that. But I'm not going to sit there and, you know, beat it into someone's mind while they're getting it put on them. And I think, you know, she was expecting that probably. But that's where you can always, like, show somebody, no, you're on your own journey. I'm not going to sit here and lecture you. I'm not going to try and tell you. You get to figure it out for yourself. And I don't know what your plan is. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, what's your thing is that you're going to teach yourself about. But I'm not going to be stressing myself out, putting that energy all the time. And you know, that's another thing too, like about the drive. Yeah, okay, the picture thing too, because I want to say something about that. But the drive, you know, when I was driving, you know, and thinking about like, you're driving and driving, and it's like, well, how far is this place? Where am I going? And it's like we're going further out. We're going through all these mountains, and then we're going in these forests and all this. It was like, this is crazy. And I said that, so I'm like thinking of all these like things to say, and I was like, oh, that could be taken wrong. Oh, that could be taken wrong. Oh God, that could, you know, especially if someone's feeling like, you know, they're stressing out or something, which it ended up that they were feeling like I was stressing. And but so while I was driving, I was like, you know, we just, no matter what our stresses are, it's like get into the moment and just go and start appreciating like this moment in time, like this beautiful scenery, this opportunity. I'm driving with my daughter's family. We're going to the lake. Why in the world would I get upset? Why in the world would I be mad or stressed? You know, so that is where I'm like, my self-talk. As well, you know, I put myself, I steer myself in the mood of my choosing. You know, I could go this direction, I could go that direction, I'm going in the direction I want to go, but I know that it's me who's deciding. And so I take that awareness and I take it more, you know, and they're always just pointing things out, you know. They're just really like, yeah, fuck, the scenery is so beautiful, and I'm here, I'm alive, y'all are just out there watching me, but god damn, this is fucking cool as shit. And so, yeah, I'm like totally, you know, legit. And I was, one thing too is like another thing she was saying about a picture or something, and one thing is we don't have to capture everything in a picture. Like that is also a 3D concept. Every moment, every breathing moment that you have had on this planet is registered in your DNA. You know, like right now, right in the here and now, we can remember past lives because it's all registered inside of us. We are our own library, and we can connect to all the other libraries. And so, then that's through the universal consciousness. There is something that, this is the second time I've seen something flash up there. Like, I feel like there's a ship up there, and it's like, it does a flash to say like, yeah, we're up here. Where the sun hits it, just in the sun is a fucking beast, man. Like, god damn, it is something crazy out here. But anyways, so we don't have to have these pictures. That is a limitation where we think we need to capture this moment to remember it. It's registered inside of us, and that is where you can access those things through your mastery of your mind, through meditation. This is tripping me out how it's moving like woo. But that is the mastery of the mind, where you can begin to pull in for your own experiences and go in and remember. That is like time travel. That is another level. But you can't do it as long as you live in 3D limitations. 3D limitations, don't forget, only exist by the cage that you build for yourself. They aren't real. It is what you choose to believe becomes your reality. And so it is, every day is an opportunity to see more, see bigger, to uncage yourself. That is, it's like right now everybody is like, some people are, you know, preparing their cocoon that they're going to go into, and they'll go into hard and heavy healing, and then they'll come out and they'll feel refreshed and new and rebirthed for this new world. But that is, you know, the whole thing about the rebirth, you know, your spiritual rebirth. You are a different person when you take control, when you take power, when you master the mind, when you master your emotions, when you take control of your relationships. You don't sit there being the victim to, oh, they hurt my feelings, that happened, you know, instead you take control. What is my part? What can I do better? And then how can I release? Because they don't have that ability to decipher what they can do better, that they're still trapped in thinking they're not enough. Like, why would I judge them for that? Like, I remember that experience. It was just last week. So I got to just allow them, you know, and understand every soul has the desire to become better. That is what creates a conscious being. And so it is, all souls are there for the growth, for the expansion. And like so many times, like I'll be out walking with Stella and I have a really strong vision a lot of times, so many times, of me being a little girl and she was my horse, and I would walk with her behind me and we went out on like adventures. I don't know what that life was all about, and I wonder if it was something that had to do where I ended up being hung, because it's the only one that I ever have thought of. It's like a pioneer kind of. When I see those pictures in my mind, that's what I relate it to, like some kind of pioneer times. but but that is being the spirit animal. But another one that I have such a huge thing is like where I can be out walking with her and I will get where I was an Indian brave and she was my hawk, and she would fly out and hunt for me. In these relationships, like with your spirit animal, is like they're unique. Like all animals are, all pets are here to teach us something. But when you get to be like with your spirit animal, and I don't know if your spirit animal is born into a whole bunch of different ones and is constantly in rotation coming in and out of your life, or if they just come at very impactful times to help you learn, and so you are learning together. And so, yesterday, when we go out, like I think that anybody who pays attention, she's trippy. And because people are always think, oh, you're talking to her like she's a person or something, but then they see her do what I'm saying. Like her vocabulary and understanding is so far beyond what most people even will talk to their dogs like. It's like you gotta increase the, start acting like your dog has some intelligence. Start talking to it and you'll see it understands way more than what you think. And it also understands on a spiritual level. Like it knows when you're ignoring it. It doesn't like it. It's here to teach you about love and to love you, and it's teaching you to accept yourself. And so it has a lot of things to teach you, these animals that come into our lives. But the spirit animal relationship is so cool. It is like such a psychic thing, because I can be walking with her and then I can hear something and then I'll respond to it, and it's like we're having a conversation, and it is it's on this other level, and she participates in it. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like you either have had the experience and understand it, you listen to me and think I sound crazy, or it plants a seed and you'll experience it, or it can be a multitude of things, but I can't let what anyone else's understanding make a deficit in my understanding, because my understanding is based on what that I'm shown on the inside, on my own understanding of this relationship and this existence. But it is it's just fascinating to me. I don't know, I think it's really fascinating. Like you can go around with an animal, like another species, and you can have a communication and understanding, and it's an energy exchange. But also she does have a vocabulary that's far beyond what a lot of dogs understand. But I talk to all the dogs, and that's why I say I think all the dogs have a far more understanding. Some may have a lot of anxiety, and some may have a lot of energy. And when I'm out, this bird comes up. When I'm out walking with her, a lot of times I see her, as these other animals, and I see her all the time as a big cat. And I know that's the one that killed me in that life, that haunted me as a child. But when I see her, like yesterday with that whole interaction with that little dog, I was like, oh, is like that little dog, its little soul, its little energy, it's like this shadow, this big encounter of this giant beast that all of a sudden freaked him out. And she jumped up and bit Stella in the face. And I was like attacking Stella's face. And poor Stella with these long jowls. She's gotten her face attacked so many times. Her ears, like, I feel so bad for her because she gets treated like she's the aggressor. But it's all these other dogs who have fear. And there's not very many dogs that can be around a really big dog and not be scared unless they've, like, been around him for a long time. And so she gets that interaction. But on a spirit kind of level, I was like, oh, you know, it's like, I think she is a big energy, like a hippopotamus, a cow, a big cat and stuff. And then some of these other ones, I feel like, you know, when I'm out walking the husky and he's like got a mark, the whole thing, he's got smell things, got rub on everything. And I keep feeling like this is like a pack animal. This is like a wolf who wanted the experience of going in and being a part of a family, you know, like the dogs, all of our animals have other lives. Like, to me, I've always found it just interesting to watch Stella, you know, watch her get into the water and she starts acting like a hippopotamus. Watch her get into, when she goes out and starts grazing in the grass. And, you know, the way she does it, there's just a certain way, and the way she lifts her head and looks around, you know, I just know she's been these big animals. You know, she's not like a little chihuahua type spirit in this giant body. No, she's a big, but there is also a consciousness advancement. I think I've talked about it before, that you can't just go into a big body and be like a little anxious chihuahua kind of beast or something, you know, like it would be so dangerous. But, you know, to just go out with that dog and see like this wolf spirit inside of him. And, you know, you gotta give like mad respect to the animals, I think, of them also. You know, they are with us, they're advancing, they are other beings, you know, they have their own community, their own existence, you know, they have a separation that has nothing to do with humans. And oh, what was that? There was something else about it was so cool by the water and all those tents, and especially it being all like indigenous people, you know. It's just like, you know, I'm talking about like all people who are of more colored skin are all more of the tribe people. They're all the people, the indigenous people. White people are not the indigenous people. What was that I saw too? Because I even saw this girl. She was, where was she from? I think I already talked about this. But she was from, not Pakistan. I can't remember, someplace. And she said she was referring to herself as not being white. And this other person who was doing the stitch or duet or whatever with her, no, it was a stitch, yeah, because they were saying, you absolutely are white. That's what I was saying before. Like, if you talk to a Jewish person, like, they see themselves as Jewish. They don't see themselves as a white person. Why? I'm telling you, white people, like, they are lab created. Like, they took something, they took, like, different people, and they keep trying to, you know, remove the melanin. And I know it's because the melanin carries the iron, it carries the soul's, is like the soul's communicate. Is like the same thing with an antenna. Like, why they want to damage our antenna, they want to remove the melanin, they want to damage our pineal gland. All of that stuff is because they want to turn us into their little droid people. They want to take over. But it was really just so cool to be out there, you know, and just bringing it back to that whole idea of just, the people in the tribe is gathering by the water and putting their tents up and just celebrating life for however long they're there. And, you know, I think that is what life is so much about. And, you know, I don't know, there's just something so real about it. It's like, oh, we are making a plan. Now everybody's all on board with it. I think in a couple weeks we're going to come back and do a camp out up there. Some people aren't going to spend the night and just come for the day, but I'm going to spend the night. And I haven't done that in a long time, sleep outside. But I'm going to do it, even though it's going to, you know, be killer on my freaking formaldehyde fucking joints and bones and shit. What was that? Somebody was talking about, I think it was a video, and they were talking about, like, as they get older, the worst part is the joint pain and the pains they weren't expecting. It's like, it's because it's not a part of aging. It's a part of chemicals building up in your system. These forever chemicals don't leave us, and you don't take it serious when you're 20, 30. You just think, oh, it's another chemical. We all take chemicals. That's just the way it is. And then you get older, and you realize, oh, they're doing this on purpose. Oh, they created this whole medical system so that they could, you know, save us, save us from them. So it is, you know, once you start seeing, you know, it's been a little too late for me. I was already found myself in the mouth of the beast, and you try and get everybody else to not find themselves in the mouth of the beast, but it's part of the awakening. It's part of where we had to get to. So everybody has to wake up and find themselves in the mouth of the beast. So it impacts them in whatever way they need to impact themselves so that they can grow and become their best selves. And so anyways, you know, that's all part of the stuff happening, and it is all about, you know, take notice of your own attitude, you know, catch yourself if you're getting yourself, like, you know, trying to control others or being down or any of the things. Start catching yourself. What can you do? And, you know, and I had a doctor say that to me a long time ago about changing the channel. Look at stuff differently. And when you are stuck on a channel, it's very hard. Very hard because you got that energy attachment and they're just feeding you. It's very hard to look at things differently because they keep you, you know, dependent. But I just keep working on it. Just keep working on it because it does become a mastery. You do become better and better and better at it, where you can shift how you want to see things. You can shift how you want to look at something. It all becomes under your control, but you got to work towards it. You know, just start understanding you can do it, and then just start working towards it, whatever that means to you. So it's all, you know, don't ever be hard on yourself. It's all what is that word? It's like all these words that are coming into my mind, but the picture that coming in, it doesn't match. But it's the staircase. It's the climbing to your highest self. It's climbing to your more advanced self. It's taking moves towards becoming who you want to be and not being a product of your environment. You know, you have the abilities, you have the capabilities, but a lot of people, you know, you need the self-esteem. You need to feel better. You need to heal your wounds. Oh yeah, that was another thing too. It's like people are losing their minds so badly right now. Like more and more videos and people just losing their minds, and that, you know, because they don't have that ability. You know, the neighbor is doing something, they don't like it, so they go out and have a fit and start like, it's crazy. And it's like, you're a grown-up. You can get control of yourself. Go in and, you know, go sit with yourself until you get yourself calm. Ask yourself, why am I getting so worked up? Why do I care? Why does it matter what this person's doing? And, you know, and you got to realize when we're all living in a sardine can, yeah, people are going to be uncomfortable next to other people because we're not meant to live in sardine cans. We're meant to live out into nature and the world and to connect to what's out there, not trying to, you know, bump up everybody's energies, just bumping up everybody else's. And we're not meant to live that way. So of course everybody feels uncomfortable. So anyways, these are all of our things for us to see. These are all of our opportunities. Everything is changing. So look at your part. See your part. And you know, another thing too is I started even thinking, it can be, I'm here spending all this time with all these people and everything, and I was like, man, fuck, I don't know. Maybe I don't see maybe I only see the good part because I'm going to leave and I'm going just to the good part. Like, I don't know. I don't know how all this stuff is going to go down. Don't know how everything's going to shift, how we're all going to find ourselves and where we're going to find ourselves. But just remember, everybody's going to meet back up. We just all have different things we're going to go through to get there. So don't stress about it's very stressful, but just do your best, don't stress. And okay, I'll talk to you later because this is like the dog's barking and then plus we're going on our little day adventure. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.